Hello everybody and welcome back to another new vlog. I've been away for a while, obviously, basically because the weather of the last month or so has been absolutely dire. Virtually impossible to get out and photograph anything, and certainly impossible to get out and vlog anything. But this week, from yesterday in fact, I'm staying in Bangor in North Wales, and I'm spending a week here, 6 nights. Just up the road basically from here, and today I've come down to Llyn Padarn, which is near Llanberis, and I've come here to take a few shots down here, and I'm not kidding, the conditions are absolutely fantastic for photography. I don't know how well you can see the lake behind me and the mountains in the distance and the clouds with the various different layers of colour and shape to them, but also the mountains there are creating these beautiful lines and shapes and silhouetted effects against the sunlight that's just trying to poke through beneath the clouds. It's a beautiful spot, and I can't quite believe that I've got off the bus just 30 seconds up the road and walked a few yards and found this. It's absolutely incredible. There is a car park just to my left here, and I've got to walk past that and get down to the shore of the lake at some point to try and find the absolute honey pot location that is the lone tree here at Llyn Padarn. Everybody takes that photo. It's the photo looking the full length of the lake down towards Snowdon, which is always on the right of the image, and the glitter eye on the left hand side of the image in the distance, and you've got that lone tree just at the shoreline which stands quite proud in front of those mountains. Really interesting shot down there. Gotta see if I can find it first, but to be quite honest with you, it may well be very busy down there, so I don't know how soon I'll be able to take that shot. But in the meantime, there is also a walk along the side of the lake which takes me into Llanberis. I think that takes about half an hour or so to get there. So what I'm going to try and do is see if I can take a shot here of that lone tree, but also maybe a shot here from the bridge itself before I go down to the shoreline, and see what I get here, and then I'll take a walk down into Llanberis. Guys, I think I might be on the wrong side of the lake to capture the image that I wanted to of that lone tree. As I came across the bridge and started to walk along this path that I'm now on, I discovered there was a sign on one of the fences that said, on the gate posts, that basically said that there was some access that had been closed off on a part of the lake, and I think that was on the other side of where I am now, and it was a little section where I believe that lone tree is at the moment. Now that could be just something to do with dangerous water levels. It could just be the fact that it's just not possible to get access to that particular spot. So I'm going to walk back this way a little bit later, but in the meantime what I'm going to do instead is carry on into Llanberis and then have a look around there and see if I can find some shots around there as well. The walk is beautiful though. The conditions for landscape photography are fantastic. Bit of mist and low cloud in the air, and it was really providing a bit of separation between the lake and the mountains behind it. So the image from up on the bridge is probably the best image so far today. It's the only image really I've taken so far today. It's probably the best viewpoint that I've been to. So I think maybe getting the opposite side of that bridge and walking on the opposite side of the lake might well have been the best option, but I don't know whether I can get there. So at the moment you've seen that image of the lake looking down towards the mountains from the top of the bridge. I'll go back there a little bit later and see if I can get around to the other side to see if I can find that lone tree. But in the meantime, I think there's going to be plenty of compositions when I get to the other end of the lake in Llanberis. So guys, I've been walking for almost an hour since I last spoke to you. I walked along Llyn Padarn, and there really wasn't any particular great views from there. The lake itself was mirror smooth, absolutely amazing looking, and it gave a lot of really interesting reflections from all of the foliage and the tree line along the one side of the lake, and also any little houses and buildings dotted around along that lake. But I've carried on walking through Llanberis, and I've come now to Dolbadarn Castle, which is just behind me there. You can't see it very well at the moment, but I'm going to head up there now. It's only a few more yards up there, and see if I can get a few photos from there. The main reason is I've gained a little bit of altitude now, so I'm probably got 150, 200 metres up above the lake, so I may be able to see down to Llyn Padarn, or even the other way towards Llanberis, and see if I can get some shots of those from Dolbadarn Castle. But also there's going to be some interesting shots of the castle itself, so I'm heading up there now. So I've managed to get a picture of the castle in front of me, and I'm looking at the castle keep. As I swing round, you can see it just here, and I've got the castle keep itself on the right hand side of the image, and then I'm looking down towards Llanberis, which obviously you can't see because that's too far in the distance. But also you've got these amazing cloud formations above me as well. They look very dark on the back of this camera. They're surprisingly quite light when you look through the main camera, but basically the way I've set it up is I've got f16, and I think it's about 1.3 seconds, but I've had to drop on all of my graduated neutral density filters. I've got a 3-stop, a 2-stop and a 1-stop graduated neutral density filter on the front of there, and that's purely and simply so I can try and bring down some of the exposure in the sky, but also balance the exposure with the castle keep itself, because obviously as I shoot into the light, the castle keep is almost silhouetted against that light, and I didn't really want that because there's such great detail and colour in that particular part of the image anyway. So I've tried to overcome that by literally putting on 3 graduated neutral density filters to try and bring down some of the light in the sky. But it's quite an interesting image. I'm going to see if I can have a wander around and see what else I can spot from here. There may be another shot from the other side of the castle as well, so I'll give that a go, and then I'll walk back down towards Llyn Padarn and Llanberis. So just over my shoulder there you can see probably the National Slate Museum and the Norwich Slate Quarry. At some point in the future I'd like to go up there to the quarry itself. The National Slate Museum is currently closed, but the quarry itself will be very interesting to go up, and you can walk around that any time of the year anyway. So one day I'd like to go up there because I know that there would be some great shots up there. I've seen other people take great shots from up there, and it's one of these places where it's just kind of I want to visit at some point. But for now I'm going to stand here and see if I can get the 100 to 400mm lens out and just try and capture a few shots on each of those different levels of the slate quarry itself, just to see if I can capture anything that's kind of abstract and interesting from there. I'll give it a go anyway and see what happens. I'm just heading back into Llanberis now. I came back down from the castle. The steps were very slippy, by the way. There were some very slippy slate steps in the castle as well, so I didn't go all the way up to the top of the tower. But it was quite an interesting little walk around that place, and there's some nice shots there. And hopefully you've seen now the shots of the slate quarry on the opposite side of Llanberis. I couldn't really get any decent images of either Llanberis or Llyn Padarn. So I just thought, sack it off anyway. I've got the images I wanted from up there at the castle, and now it is pretty much lunchtime, so I'm heading into Llanberis to get some lunch. After that, what I might try and do is walk back along Llyn Padarn, where I started the walk this morning, and try and finish up on that bridge again and see if I can get round to the other side to see if it's possible to get into that space where I may be able to find that lone tree and look down the lake itself. So that's the plan, but we'll wait and see if that one comes off. I had to show you the entrance to that amazing tunnel just now that I've just walked through. I walked through it on my way here this morning, after I'd taken that first shot looking down Llyn Padarn towards Snowdon and the Glidders. But on the way back, obviously I've had my lunch now. On the way back I've got to catch a bus back to Bangor, so I'm walking back along this path now. That tunnel that I've just been through actually goes underneath the main road, so I don't have to cross it, but ironically enough I've still got to cross it again to get to the point where I wanted to take that photo again. So that's not a problem, because from there it's just a very short walk then to the bus stop anyway, or I could just carry on along this main road to the bus stop. Doesn't matter either way. So I'm going to go over there and see if I can get a better shot of that one I took first thing this morning. Hopefully we'll see the lone tree this time, but I'm not banking on that, to be honest with you. But I'll go and see what happens. I've just arrived back on the bridge where I started the walk this morning, and I think I can see the potential for where there might be a shot. I don't necessarily think that the lone tree is at that particular spot, but I don't think I'm going to be able to find that, to be quite honest with you. I've got no idea at all where it is. I know it should be at this end of the lake, but doesn't seem to be any sign of it at the moment, so I'm just kind of looking round to scope out the potential for a shot. Now that it's later in the day, the sun is much higher in the sky, and so the light is much more even all the way down the shot. So the shot I took this morning was quite dark on the edges, and then as you look down towards Snowdon and Llyn, you find that it got quite light and almost overexposed in some spots, but now it's not quite the same. It is still much lighter at the far end of the lake, and it is going to be slightly darker at the edges of the scene, but because the sunshine is much higher in the sky, the light is much more even, so it should make a much more interesting shot, and hopefully I can get a slightly different viewpoint as well. I've just noticed there are some steps that take me right down to the edge of the lake. Whether I can get down to the edge of the lake by going down there or not is another matter. Whether I can even get to the steps themselves to get down them is an interesting question, but if I can get down there, I think there's the potential just there to take a shot looking back down the lake. We'll see. So as you can probably tell, the light really is changing. We've got very dark foreboding clouds over the one side here, and then as I kind of switch around you can see how bright it gets further back there towards Snowdon and the Glidders. So that's what I'm dealing with here. That's the kind of conditions I'm really trying to compensate for. So hopefully I've got a shot here. I couldn't find the lone tree. I don't know where it is. I can't see any sign of it at all, so it looks as though it's impossible to find. At some point somewhere I'm going to be able to find exactly where that picture was taken that I saw of the lone tree, and then maybe one day I'll be able to come back here and capture that shot myself. But it doesn't really matter. I think I've got some interesting shots today, both from here at this end of Llyn Padarn, but also at the other end of Llyn Padarn up at Dolbadarn Castle. Hopefully the images look good. Hope you've enjoyed the images. If you have, please remember to give the video a thumbs up, and And also please remember to subscribe to the channel if you're not already, and hopefully it won't be as long before my next one comes out. I look forward to seeing you again on another vlog very soon. Bye for now.